Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Serena Williams' former coach has identified the big problem with Coco Gauff's game after her Italian Open final defeat to Jasmine Paolini. Coco Gauff has suffered back-to-back final defeats after being beaten by Jasmine Paolini at the Italian Open. Gauff was up against the Italian crowd as she took on home favorite Paolini for a chance to win her first singles title of the 2025 season. Paolini was able to get the better of her American opponent, with Gauff unable to play her best tennis in the Rome final. While Gauff was full of praise for Paolini, others have big concerns for the 2023 U.S. Open champion. Rick Maxey identifies big problem with Coco Gauff's game after Italian Open final. In her straight sets defeat to Paolini, Gauff hit a significant 55 unforced errors compared to her opponent who just had 20. Of those 55 unforced errors, 33 of them came from Gauff's forehand side, something that has previously been targeted as a weakness. This is something that was pointed out by Rick Maxey, who has previously coached both Serena and Venus Williams. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, Maxey backed Gauff as a future world number one, but suggested that there are fundamental issues with her forehand that need to be fixed. Coco is elite in many ways, said Maxey. As I said 3 years ago, she will be number one on the planet because her backbone is made of granite. But her forehand, depending on her mind court position opponent ball speed, will break down because it is biomechanically disconnected starting from the ground. Rick Maxey suggests that Coco Gauff's serve has gone backwards. Gauff's serve has also been a big talking point this year, as it produced 7 double faults against Paolini. This was highlighted by Gauff, only being able to win 52% of her points on first serve. With Maxey arguing that her first serve has regressed in recent years, however, the 70-year-old appears to believe that the serve will take much less work than her forehand. Coco and her forest serve was better 2 years ago, claimed Maxey. She hit 128 miles per hour, Bayangi, in 2022, and now she is stronger and longer. Not only can she fire 130 on a regular basis loose wires and mindset, with a few biomechanical modifications, the angle of descent would be greater, producing higher percent and sharper acute placement. Easy fix. Gauff's serving struggles are evident in 2025, having hit more double faults than any other player on the WTA Tour, 151. Despite these issues, Gauff will rise to world number 2 when the WTA rankings are next updated. Coco Gauff's crossroads. After Italian Open defeat, Serena's former coach identifies the big problem. By Matchpoint Magazine. Rome is a city of champions. Its ruins echo the legacy of gladiators, and its courts, especially the famed red clay of the Foro Italico, have become the proving grounds of modern tennis warriors. But on this sun-soaked May afternoon, Coco Gauff, the 20-year-old American phenom, U.S. Open champion, and icon in the making, walked off the court not in triumph, but in frustration. Across the net stood Jasmine Paolini, the Italian underdog turned hometown hero, who stunned Gauff and a packed Roman crowd in straight sets to claim the biggest title of her career. The story was all Paolini that day, but as the dust settled, the post-match discussion turned, inevitably, to Gauff. She's too reactive, not proactive. Those were the words of Patrick Mouratoglou, Serena Williams' former coach and one of the most respected minds in tennis. During a segment on a European sports network following the match, Mouratoglou offered a pointed critique of Gauff's performance. Coco is one of the best athletes we've ever seen on the women's tour. But right now, she's relying too much on defense, on her speed, her hustle, her ability to chase everything down. That works most days, but not against smart, aggressive players like Paolini who expose the gaps. His diagnosis: Gauff's forehand, long considered the weak link in her otherwise elite game. She's losing control of her forehand under pressure. It's too loopy, too inconsistent. Players are targeting it relentlessly, and until that's fixed, she won't be able to dominate consistently on clay or at Grand Slam level. A technical tension. Anyone who's followed Gauff's meteoric rise has heard whispers about the forehand issue. While her backhand is laser precise and her movement world class, the forehand has drawn criticism for its mechanics, particularly the grip and takeback, which sometimes produce erratic trajectories. But what Mouratoglou is pointing to isn't just mechanics, it's mentality. She's playing to not miss, he said. But champions play to win. The difference? A mindset shift that separates elite defenders from Grand Slam dynamos. And it's a shift that Serena Williams herself made under Mouratoglou's tutelage, transforming from a power hitter with streaky spells into the most dominant player of her era. Gauff. At the center of the storm. It's easy to forget how young Coco Gauff still is. At just 20, she's already won a Grand Slam, cracked the top 5, led the U.S. to Billie Jean King Cup glory, and carried the weight of a nation's hopes on her shoulders since she was 15. Her maturity is uncanny. Her interviews are polished. Her confidence, radiant. But the expectations, suffocating. It's funny, Gauff said after the loss to Paolini. I feel like if I don't win, people talk like I'm declining. But I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And she's right. Even legends like Serena and Federer lost big matches in their early 20s. But what's different now is the visibility. Every shot, every slump, every flaw dissected in slow motion, which makes Mouratoglou's public critique sting a little more than usual. Still, Gauff took the high road. He's someone I respect, she said. I know what I need to work on, and I'll keep working. The numbers don't lie. In the Italian Open final, Gauff hit 27 unforced errors, 15 of them from the forehand side. Paolini, by contrast, played with surgical precision, dictating play and forcing Gauff into defensive positions early in the rallies. Time and again, Paolini exploited Gauff's forehand, dragging her wide and daring her to counter with aggression. Too often, Gauff resorted to looping neutral balls, shots that Paolini punished. Tennis, at its core, is about margins. And right now, Gauff's margins on that side are thinner than they should be. The Serena standard. It's impossible to talk about Gauff without invoking Serena Williams. Not because they play the same way, they don't, but because Serena blazed the trail that Gauff now walks on. The athleticism, the intensity, the presence, they all echo. And Mouratoglou's comments aren't meant to tear her down. They're a challenge, a blueprint. He's seen the mountaintop, and he believes Gauff can reach it. She reminds me of young Serena, he said. But Serena learned to take the initiative. She didn't wait. She dictated. That's the next step for Coco. The implication is clear. If Gauff can develop her forehand into a weapon, not just a liability to survive, she can dominate every surface, not just hard courts. The clay question. Clay courts are an amplifier. They slow the ball down, extend rallies, and reward tactical construction over raw power. Players with solid top spin and patience thrive here. But they also expose weaknesses in timing and footwork, especially when your shot breaks down under pressure. Gauff's athleticism makes her dangerous on clay. She reached the French Open final in 2022. But her inconsistency on offense often leads to long matches, unforced errors, and missed opportunities against players who press high and early, like Paolini. It's why Mouratoglou's critique, while harsh, lands true. If Gauff wants to lift the French Open trophy in the coming years, she'll need to transform from clay court contender to commander, a player in progress. But here's the beautiful paradox. Gauff's game is incomplete, and yet she's already achieved what most can only dream of. That's how high her ceiling is. Coaches from across the WTA have praised her work ethic, her openness to change, and her willingness to evolve. She's not stubborn, said one top 10 coach anonymously. She listens. She's just at a stage where she needs the right technical fixes and a little more trust in herself. And with the Olympics, Roland Garros, and Wimbledon on the horizon, the opportunity to evolve is right in front of her. The path forward. What happens next? Gauff has already hinted at taking a short break post-Rome to recalibrate, review her performance with her coaching team, and continue refining the very shot now at the center of every tennis conversation. I've been through tough losses before, she said. They hurt, but they teach you. Maybe that's what Mouratoglou's critique really is, not a judgment, but an invitation. To refine, to level up, to lead. Because for all of her speed, power, and charisma, what sets Gauff apart is her mindset. She doesn't run from her flaws, she studies them. And then, like all the greats before her, she adapts.